Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa. Ko Teka Pautamanga, ko Opahiti Awa, ko Ngāti Awa te iwi, ko Papanui Kura te marae, kei Otautahi tōku kainga, ko James Stewart tōku ingoa. Hi, I'm James Stewart, the Head of Careers and Senior Course Tutor for Papanui High, and in the absence of a on-site course selection evening, it's my pleasure to be able to present some information to support the subject selection for students moving from Year 10 into Year 11. Entering the senior school, there are three phrases that students and whānau will probably have seen before that are very apt. Tōku kura, tōku tiki tiki, tōku haiapapa. These phrases translate to my school, my success, my responsibility. And it is important that students going into the senior school realise they need to step up, they need to work hard, and if they put in that effort, they will be successful. The pathways that students can take will differ significantly. As they head towards a future, they may involve a number of different steps in NCEA. Some students may complete levels 1, 2, 3 and university entrance, often over 3 years of NCEA, but other students may exit at different stages along their NCEA journey. Some students will move on to one of those stages to a different tertiary provider, and tertiary providers may offer courses that are at NCEA level 1, 2 and 3 or higher, as well as degree-based courses. Some students may transition into paid training or an apprenticeship. Some students may look at going directly into employment, although in the current employment market, students are often advised to look at training options as well as employment. Much of what I'm going to talk about is about qualifications through NCEA, but it's still important to recognise that students should be developing skills and attributes that are essential for not only their success in school, but also beyond. These skills are listed on this presentation here. These are the attributes that are often recognised as leading to successful employment. So what actually is NCEA? Well, NCEA is New Zealand's main qualification in secondary schools, and it stands for the National Certificate of Educational Achievement. NCEA is administered by the New Zealand Qualifications Authority, and they are the body that is responsible for this administration. This presentation will go through the structure of NCEA, and there will be guides available electronically for families that would like them, but also hard copies to sum up this information can be collected by students from the Careers Department. These can also be collected in a number of different languages. Right, you may have heard in the media in the last 2 years the review of NCEA and proposed changes to come in. What I can make you aware of is that for Papanui High School in 2021, the system remains the same and there are no changes to NCEA. You may have also heard in the media that there are ongoing changes to NCEA due to restrictions placed by COVID-19. These are currently set in place for the current year and at this stage intended for this year only. So we're going to watch a video clip here now that goes through what NCEA is and how it works. I'm aware that if you're a parent or a student that has a sibling and you've been through the NCEA process before, you're probably more aware of it, but it's always worth a refresher, and if you're new to NCEA, this should provide a pretty good guide into how it works.
Kia ora, hello. This film is designed to help you understand NCEA, the main qualification for secondary school kids in New Zealand. NCEA stands for the National Certificate of Educational Achievement, and it comes in 3 levels, cleverly named 1, 2 and 3. The key ingredients in NCEA are things called standards and credits. One leads to the other. With NCEA, there are still important national exams at the end of the year. We sometimes call it external assessment. But you can also be tested or assessed throughout the year. That's called internal assessment because it happens in school. It may sound like a lot more work, but let's face it, there are some things you can't test in a sit-down exam. Why write about delivering your mihi in te reo Māori when you could do it for real? Why just write about a science experiment when you could do the experiment in the lab and see the real results? With NCEA, subjects are divided up into all the things you need to know. They're called standards. Each standard is worth credits, and credits count towards the final qualification. It means that instead of doing one 3-hour exam on the whole subject of English, you could be assessed in separate standards about writing a business letter, Shakespeare, making a film, or giving a speech. Some of these will be tested in an exam at the end of the year, and some will be assessed during the year. To get NCEA, you need to get enough credits, 80 at each level. You also need to achieve a minimum number of literacy, writing, speaking, and listening skills, and numeracy, number, measurement, and statistical skills. But these can be gained in a large number of different subjects. You can build up credits during the year, or even over more than 1 year, and once you've got credits, they last forever. And you can keep track of how many credits you're stacking up as you go along. When you get your results, you'll know how many credits you've got, but your results tell you a lot more than just NCEA Level 1 passed. Your results notice looks like this. It shows the result for each standard with a letter next to each one, NAME. They stand for Not Achieved, Achieved, Merit and Excellence. You can probably guess what Not Achieved means. Achieved, Merit and Excellence tell you how well you did in reaching the standard. One thing to remember is that these days, E is for excellence. It might pay to let your parents know that when they were at school, if you got an E, it was bad news. You won't get any more credits for getting merits and excellences, but there are good reasons for aiming high. If you get enough credits with merits or excellences, 50 to be exact, you'll get merit or excellence included in your NCEA qualification. It's called certificate endorsement, and everyone will know how well you've done. That will tell people you mean business. It's a good reason to keep aiming for credits even after you've reached 80. Merits and excellences can also be useful if you're doing well in particular courses or subjects. Course endorsement tells people you're especially good at a particular subject or course. If you get 14 credits with excellence in a particular course, say maths or music, you will have that course endorsed with excellence. Anyone who reads your results will see you've done particularly well at maths or music, or even both. That will come in handy when you're showing results to people after you've left school, for work, or going somewhere else to study. Your time at secondary school is a bit like a journey. It might start off feeling like you're in a foreign land, but you soon start becoming more familiar with the territory, and you'll want to explore new places and ideas. Just like any journey, it helps to have an idea of where you want to go and a map so you can plan how to get there. You want to know the subjects you're studying are taking you in the right direction. Getting as many credits as you can is great, but it's important to think about what subjects you're getting credits in. If you're aiming for a job or university course, you need to get credits in the standards that will be useful to employers or that the university will expect to see in your results. Make sure you're on the right path. And remember, just because you've got university entrance doesn't mean you can just turn up for any university course you like. These days, universities want to see lots of E's in your results, another good reason for aiming high. So, a couple of important things to remember. Make sure the standards you are studying are going to give you the results you need so you can do what you want to do when you leave school. Because NCEA is recognised internationally, it means you can study at an overseas university. And make sure you're getting your best possible results, as many excellences and merits as possible. If you've got questions, talk to the experts, ask your teachers, go to the NZQA website www.nzqa.govt.nz or phone NZQA on 0800 697 296.
Okay. I will go through a bit of the same information now, but I think it's really important that information is accurate. So I'm going to summarise some of those things that you have seen. NCEA is a standards-based system, meaning that it's broken up into really small chunks. Those chunks referred to as standards. And the standards themselves are usually based around a set of skills or a particular area of knowledge. It is broken into 3 different levels: NCEA level 1, 2 and 3. And the standards can be assessed in 2 different ways. They can be assessed internally. What that means is the standard itself is prepared, supervised, marked and moderated all in school. And these standard students gain their grades for during the course of the year. An externally assessed standard is prepared, supervised and marked by NCEA. That means it's independently of the teachers. These are often but not always the exams that are based at the end of the year. So gaining NCEA level 1. In order to do this, students have to gain a minimum of 80 credits at level 1 or higher, meaning that these credits could also have come from level 2 or 3. They must include within that 80 10 numeracy credits, and numeracy credits are not only found in mathematics. They can be gained across a number of other subjects as well. They also must gain 10 literacy credits, and the same as numeracy credits, they can also be found across other subjects other than English. Every student studies a minimum of at least 5 subjects, and each of these subjects has a range of credits, usually in the 16 to 20 amount at Papanui High School. There are 2 main types of standards: unit standards and achievement standards. Unit standards are standards where students can gain a pass, which is referred to as achieved, or a fail, referred to as not achieved. So they simply show whether a student has met that standard or not. Whereas achievement standards are standards where the student can show different levels of understanding. They can be demonstrated by gaining a not achieved, achieved, merit, or excellence. An achieved means the student is able to demonstrate they understand or have the skills at that standard, whereas at merit, students are showing that they have a further or a better, more in-depth understanding, and at excellence they're showing that comprehensive level of understanding. So what do students actually receive? A record of achievement shows the standards and level of achievement of a student. These records of achievement can be downloaded electronically by students using their NCEA login. Students can also request 1 hard copy per year. So what is different about Year 11? In Year 11, students are now placed in compulsory English and mathematics courses through their departments in consultation with their Year 10 teachers. All Year 11 students also take 1 course of science study. There are actually 4 options in Year 11 available for science, and students are advised to talk to their science teachers about which one of these options would be best for them. Most students also take 2 additional subjects. Students that have shown that have a strong academic ability and a good work ethic can also apply through their deans for an additional 6th subject. Although it's important to note that a 6th subject adds more workload, and the students with 6 subjects do not have access to study periods. At the completion of level 1, it's also important for students to realise that as they go on to level 2 and 3, they will no longer, at those levels, have any compulsory subjects. So how do you actually go about choosing your subjects? Well, firstly, I'd ask you to identify what are your strengths, what are those things that you're good at. And if you're not sure about this, talk to your friends, talk to your whānau, talk to your teachers, those people that know you well and can give you some guidance. Look at the subjects that you currently enjoy. You will have explored a number of options in the junior school, and we know that you are far more likely to succeed in the areas that you are interested in and you enjoy doing. Have a look at the subjects that support careers you might be interested in. Are there things that you're already quite passionate about? Have a look at the subjects that would help support those. You may also find that some of those subjects and areas you're interested in have specific requirements, so you need to pick the subjects that help guide you towards those, and get some advice with that if you're not sure. There are some things though that you should be aware about. Students do get more responsibility as they enter NCEA into Year 11. So it is a bit of a step up, but do be aware that although there is a greater workload, it can be managed. Students need to just keep on top of their work, utilise those studies times and their support. Students do need support and guidance. So although you may feel as a young person that you are able to take on more responsibility, don't be afraid to get help. And don't dismiss the advice of those around you. Your parents have been through school before and can offer good guidance, and your teachers have supported many students in the past, so do engage with them and use that guidance. We do know that attendance and engagements are musts, so you must be at school, you must be on time, and you must be working and engaged in your work if you are going to succeed. Get the right advice. So you don't want to get caught out in taking advice that doesn't serve you well. So in terms of getting advice around the subjects that you're going to take and the specific courses in those subjects, talk to the HODs, the heads of those departments, and your teachers in your current classes can help with that advice too. Talk to your dean. Does your dean know you well and know your background and those things about you that help you succeed? So they might be able to give you some really good advice there. Your academic counsellors, they've been working with you in Academic Counselling Day recently, and certainly have often large amounts of information about you that can help you support you with that process. If you are looking at a specific requirement though for a specific career or pathway, it's important that you know up-to-date information. So the career staff are more than happy to talk with students there, and that is myself, Miss Langdon and Miss Herbert. When you go to do your subject selection, you're getting some information that will come home, and it will direct you to the school's website. And on the school's website, you'll see a nice picture of Mr. Smith, and down next to him there is an option to select online course selection. When you click on that option, it will take you to log in using your student's school username and password, and by that students are able to make their selection online. And like I said, there is some guidance on this in the information students will bring home. So I would just like to remind you of a few resources that we're putting out because we're unable to run our at-school course selection evening this year. We are running extended form times for students twice, and those extended form times are to go through this presentation and then to go through some paper-based information which is really planning for students that they can take home around the subjects that they're thinking and are interested in. And they can use this with parents to engage. So we're referring this to as their student guides. So please ask students to show those to your parents at home. We're providing opportunities for students to try and consult with their teachers. So a lot of this they're going to have to do in their class time, but if they have specific questions, there's nothing wrong with them approaching teachers to talk about. We're going to provide a key provider information document. So this provides links to websites and documents that have been put out by providers on information that is useful to school students in choosing subjects. There are also NCEA guides available, and as I mentioned, these you can get these electronically and download them yourself, and they'll be on the same document as this other information, or if you like a hard copy, you can send a student to the careers area, and we can also provide those in a number of languages. So utilise these different resources, and good luck making the selections. So I'd like just to finish with a whakatauki, which I think is quite apt for our young students. Whaia te iti kaharangi, ki te tuahau koe, me he manga teitei. Literally, it means to seek the treasure you value most, and if you bow your head, let it be to a lofty mountain. So the message there for students is, set your sights high, aim high, work hard, and do your best. Thank you very much.